All right. Well, now we are moving on to a whole new chapter of the franchise 5 years later, and a bunch of different ideas being thrown around later. The Weinsteins, yes, those nasty motherfuckers, bought out Dimension Films, which owned the rights to the Halloween franchise for H2O and Resurrection. And at first, there was ideas about having Michael Myers do a versus movie against Pinhead from Hellraiser, because they were like, well, if Freddy is going to fight Jason, let's have Michael fight someone. And I think it would make sense to have him fight a Cenobite. And there was an idea about getting it where the reason Michael is so evil is because he solved the puzzle box and it released this evil, and that was the evil that takes over him and stuff like that. It was a mess. There was a lot of stuff going around, and to the point where the Weinsteins hired Rob Zombie to take over directing. He wrote the movie. He was actually a music supervisor on the movie as well, because of course yeah, right. And yeah, he pretty much, they were just like, we want you to remake the original Halloween. And so Rob Zombie states that he went to John Carpenter kind of to get his blessing, or to pretty much tell him what he was doing. I don't think he was getting his blessing, because I think regardless, this movie was getting made regardless if John Carpenter was on board for it or not. And John Carpenter supposedly told Zombie to make it his own. And that's where I'm going to start with my problem with the reception of this movie. First off, yes, this movie is not great. Just right off the bat. There's just a lot of weird decisions made with this movie. With the fact of, like, yes, we get an origin story from Michael, which I think is a decision that is very torn with fans. I have always been an advocate for, like, I think it's pretty cool to kind of see some of the where Michael comes from, but the way that Zombie kind of put it on screen was kind of like, hey, you've read a book about a serial killer, right? You've seen documentaries about serial killers, right? Well, that's how Michael Myers becomes who he is. He's just a generic serial killer, because that's what he is. And so, like I stated, I rewatched every single one of these movies over the last 2 weeks before we recorded this. And
is that a dig? Is that a dig?
No. Well, I mean, yeah. I did state at the beginning of the episode that you guys didn't follow the instructions. So
almost all of them. We just didn't get these two.
They did. Yeah, they didn't want to watch these. They didn't want to.
Okay. I will say this. I don't give a fuck. I dropped the ball. I will take responsibility. But I will also state this. Not a big fan of Zombie stuff. Not even his music. And what I have seen of his movies, I don't like his movies either. I think they're just hateful. And I mean, which is fine. I mean, you need that a little bit in a movie, but they just seem hateful, and then it's all trailer trash people. Is what it feels like. Yeah. And I don't care for his dialogue either.
So I love The Devil's Rejects. It's like, it's a movie I watched a lot going through like middle school and high school. And I think the characters in that movie and the dialogue that Zombie uses, it fits for those characters, because those characters are just dirty, disgusting human beings. And yes, Michael Myers is a serial killer, but do you really need to make his family the most detestable fucking people on the planet, to the point where you don't feel bad when he literally slaughters every single one of them, other than the mother and his baby sister? Because you have, let's go through some of the so of course this was directed and written by Rob Zombie, produced by Rob Zombie. It stars Malcolm McDowell, who plays Loomis. We have Sherry Moon Zombie.
He certainly does.
We have Sherry Moon Zombie, who plays the mother. I can't remember what her name was. It's Myers. I can't remember what her first name is.
Is that Rob Zombie's wife? She's in like all his shit.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. Taylor Maine, who plays Michael, which, to be honest, there's a couple other actors in this movie that I actually really enjoy, and I think are better versions of the character than we see in the original Halloween. And we'll get to those. But I think Taylor May does a great job as Michael Myers. I think his size and his stature and just how physical he is, I think it was a really cool version of Michael that we had never seen before.
He's very imposing on the screen,
Yes.
which is great. Which is way better than the shit we talked about in H2O.
Yeah.
Which was one of my huge complaints with that film. So they fixed that in this movie.
We have Scout Taylor Compton, who plays Laurie Strode. Another person who, after my most recent rewatches, I actually really like her, Laurie Strode. I really like her. Listen, this movie comes out in 2007, and you listen to some of the dialogue in the beginning of this movie is detestable. It's fucking horrible. And I'm going to shout out William Forsythe, who is, one, a great actor, but two, he is so good at playing terrible characters, just detestable human beings. And his character of Miss Myers, or whatever the fuck her name is, boyfriend, Ronnie. Oh, every time he opens his mouth, I just wanted to go through the screen and just choke him out. It was horrible. The beginning of this movie is horrible just because of the dialogue choices and the way this family interacts with each other. It's like, oh, get me out of here.
I know I've seen this guy in something, by the way. Other stuff.
He's been in other Rob Zombie stuff. He was in The Devil's Rejects, which is, he plays kind of he's not really the villain because the main characters are killers themselves. So he's kind of like the guy out for revenge. He's been in movies all throughout the 80s and 90s. He was in a Steven Seagal movie I watched when I was a kid called Out for Justice. He played the bad guy in that. I love those movies, but yeah,
my grandma watched the shit out of those. Under Siege, all that shit.
Oh, they're great. I fucking love them.
Wasn't that the train one?
That was the second one.
Oh, okay.
The first one was on a battleship.
Oh, that's right.
Tommy Lee Jones and Gary Busey.
Oh, Busey.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Angela, did you want to say something?
Sorry.
We watched the kill count on this one, and
you should too if you haven't.
Yes. We watch a lot of kill count. Kids love it.
Don't judge us.
Some daughter's obsessed with watching him. Like, I'm like, where did this come from? Where did the obsession suddenly stem from? Like, no, because she normally hates watching people get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as soon as somebody gets hurt in a movie, she's out. She's like, no, I don't want to see this anymore, But I'm like, we might want to watch this downstairs. And Dan's like, no, it's fine. Not even 5 seconds into the kill count when he starts playing the actual dialogue in the movie, I'm like, yeah, we got to go.
Yeah, I was like, I don't remember it being as bad. So, anyway,
oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because I watched this kill counts once before, and I was like, I just didn't remember that. And I was like, oh, that's why I don't like these.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I was like, ooh, language.
Well, I mean, I was going to say, you have an absolutely charming host, James A. Janice.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's not the
We show a lot of love to Dead Meat on this, on our show since the beginning. So.
Oh, absolutely.
We love Dead Meat over here at Dissect Film. Yeah, the beginning of this movie is horrendous. It's just the detestable, like, I don't care. Like, they made Judith, who is supposed to be this, she's the reason it all starts. Michael, like in the original Halloween, Michael kills her and then gets sent off, and that's, how everything goes. But this is like, this goes a little bit deeper, but the problem is you don't fucking, like, of course, like, no one deserves to die unless they're just utterly horrid human beings, like, serial killers, rapists, things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Take them out back.
Yeah.
We're done.
But they gave her awful dialogue. She treats her brother like shit, which, there are older siblings that don't treat their younger siblings very well, but they just gave her the worst dialogue. Sherry Moon Zombie is just, I think I really like her in the Firefly trilogy, like the House of a Thousand Corpse and Devil's Rejects. I think the character she plays in those movies is who she should be always playing, but she can't do anything else, in my opinion. I think she's a very flat actress. She always seems like she's looking off screen to try to figure out what her lines are, and she just doesn't convey emotion in the way I was hoping for. And Also, the fact of like just some of this writing is just fucking horrendous.
I think if you have any, I guess the dude just has the means to keep his wife employed, so you
Yeah.
might as well.
Yeah, I mean that's literally the only thing she ever does. She's never in anything other than her husband's work. Like, which hey, whatever. And a lot of people give him shit for that, and it's like, and he's come out and he's like, I don't give a fuck what you say. Like, I'm gonna.
Yeah,
she's my wife, and if I want to do it, they're my movies. I'm gonna put her in them, and you know what? We just have to accept that. And I'm whatever. Yeah. It is what it is.
Just be like me and don't watch them.
Yeah,
easiest casting.
Yeah, you know? Exactly. He's like, you can find something for her to do. Yeah. And most of the time he puts her in like the fucking one of the lead roles. But I digress. The first like 20 minutes of this movie are just skippable. Like it's literally one of those, like if I ever were to rewatch this movie again, and I think I would, because I actually like this movie once it gets to a certain point. So like when you see young Michael actually do what he does in the beginning of the original Halloween, when he goes through and kills Judith.
Yeah.
Even the boy, like, to be honest, they could have just gotten rid of the boyfriend. He was fucking pointless. His dialogue was horrendous, and he did not need to be there. And just the fact that they added that as an extra kill, like as you know, he killed, you know, he ended up killing the boyfriend too, which he doesn't do in the original.
So, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I think if they had started from where he kills his sister, kind of like the beginning, but kind of give us more of a, you know, like the fact that we got to see Michael like as a kid, not just from the first person shots, but actually getting to see who he is. I actually didn't mind that. And I thought the actor who played him, Doug Ferch is his name. He's fine. The only other thing I've ever remember seeing him in was Hancock. He played a bully in Hancock, and that's about it.
Okay.
He definitely has the name that
like what y'all were saying about skipping this. Literally, if you just go into this movie and just scene select to where it starts, you know, like you said, where the first Halloween essentially starts, and just remember in your mind of how the original played out, you won't miss a thing.
Yeah.
It's literally the same shit, just change the origin to make it take place in a trailer park.
Mm-hmm.
And she still dies, people die, he goes to mental facility, Loomis. Boom.
I do, yeah. So I do like the fact, and I was kind of mixed on it, but I think after kind of thinking about it, I kind of like the fact that her boyfriend is the one who has the mask, and Michael wears that his iconic mask as a kid, and then before he gets sent away, he hides it in the house, and then goes back to the house, you know, breaks the floorboards, and then finds his mask. I thought that was actually pretty cool, instead of the fact of like, where did he get why does he have the mask in this? But it's like, clearly Michael's mask was always just a mask he found in a store. So it kind of is cool that the boyfriend had it. The boyfriend ends up dying in this version. Yeah, I just, from there on, I think that's where this movie should have gone. And to be honest, I think they could have trimmed a lot of the Michael Loomis stuff in the hospital, because I think that just goes on way too long. And I feel like it's trying to get you to somewhat feel bad for Michael, because it's like, oh, he's just a kid. But then as he gets older, you're like, oh, all right.
It's like, let's make him sympathetic. No, he's not sympathetic. And I guess, like you said, I'll do like the continued connection to his sister outside of like, he murdered his sister. There's at least that little added with the mask the boyfriend had. Like you said. I was just agreeing with you.
Oh, yeah. But the thing is I think what made that whole him killing his sister more impactful was the fact that like you always were to believe this was his first kill, but it's not. He kills that bully in the beginning, freaking Junie from Spy Kids. He just beats the shit out of him with a fucking stick. All of that, get rid of it, because that's all generic. I don't want to say generic, but that is like when you read about a lot of serial killers, that's what they were doing. They were killing animals. They were doing this, and they were, you know, just doing shady shit beforehand. It's like, no, I don't need to know that. But to see him in the hospital, I thought was cool. You know, him and his relationship with Loomis and how it kind of slowly deteriorates, because he goes from being like, I don't know what I did, to doesn't talk at all. And then the point, where his mom ends up offing herself. And then we get to the present day with Lori and her friends. And to be honest, I really like the dynamic between the new friends, the new cast here. I really do. I like Scout Taylor Compton. I think she plays a really good Laurie Strode, and I think she plays a really good Laurie Strode in the second one when we get to that one. Danielle Harris is above and beyond better as Annie than the original Nancy Loomis in the original. I think they just gave Danielle Harris more to do. I think her performance just is just more genuine, and she just doesn't seem as shitty. But I guess but it's a different time. It was 1978 compared to 2007, so you're basing it off that. The only kind of downfall with that is like the dynamic between Lori and Tommy Doyle. I did not like their weird. It was weird. It was like a weird babysitter dynamic where she was like doing really, really inappropriate things like around this like 10-year-old and shit. It's like, I mean, I guess things like that were going on, but it's still weird, man. I loved, Jamie Lee Curtis's Lori's relationship with Tommy Doyle way better, in my opinion.
Can I also state something? Because I'm not going to get into the reasons why specifically, but why is it like there's this weird line, like a sexual line through this, where we talked about the creepy stuff with Tommy Doyle and Laurie Strode, and then Michael's mom couldn't be anybody else but a fucking stripper.
Yeah.
Like, why does that listen, I'm not judging people for what they do in their life, but why is instantly being either a stripper and or a prostitute, or not prostitute, but that would work too if you want, whatever, or an adult film star instantly just make you a shitty parent and or a bad person?
Yeah. I don't know. Like the way that the boyfriend was talking to the daughter, like the fact, like he was like telling the mom that she had a nice ass, and I was like, get the fuck out. As soon as he said, get the fuck out and never come back, you piece of shit. Like, yeah, like I said, skip that part completely. Just skip over shitty boyfriend Ronnie because he sucks. But like, no, it coming back to Laurie Strode and her friends, I just like their dynamic. I like the kind of the character building in this, and how everything goes. Loomis, on the other hand, I think Malcolm McDowell is a fantastic actor.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't like him as Loomis. I understand you don't want to copy someone who had done it for so long, but at least make him likable. He's just not likable. He's not. He doesn't do anything for the majority of this movie. Like,
you mean like, go ahead.
The genuine fear that is conveyed by Donald Pleasance when he finds out Michael has escaped.
Yeah.
Like, just straight up, he knows shit's about to go down. Malcolm McDowell is just like walking through it. He's like, oh no, Michael's escaped. I know where he's going. We better go there. And it's like, Jesus, the urgency.
Shouldn't you be some more concerned?
Yes.
Oh, we'll get there. What?
Like, what is happening?
I like the old Loomis better.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I gotta shout out the cast, because there's so many great just little cameos here and there from awesome actors. We got Danny Trejo, who plays the most tragic character in this movie, by the way, because he's so likable. Like, he tries to befriend. He like talks to Michael like a human being, like as a kid, and then as he grows up, he treats Michael like a human being, even though he's this ginormous fucking giant who just always wears masks, never talks. And then you have the detestable new guy who just says dumb shit, and I'm like, ugh.
Always gotta have that guy.
But yet, fucking Danny Trejo gets offed, and you're like, why? He treated you so nice. We have Clint Howard as kind of the doctor who tells Loomis that Michael's escaped. Udo Kier's in here. He's here. He's been in a lot of. He was in Blade. He played one of like the. He was the vampire that they took out to the rocks. Like, he was one of like the head of the council. They bring him out and they do like the sacrifice thing.
That's right. Yeah.
He's been in a lot of stuff. Actually, I think as we're recording, it's like, I think it's his birthday today, as of this recording. So.
Yes, all the best people were born in October.
We have Bill Moseley, who he was in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. in a lot. I think he's in most of Rob Zombie's stuff. We have Dee Wallace, who plays Laurie's mom, which is awesome. Dee Wallace is amazing. Ken Foray, who is in Dawn of the Dead, From Beyond. Yeah, he's fucking awesome. He's also a Rob Zombie regular. And Sid Haig, who is another one he's a horror legend who is also was a avid zombie actor. So he was in the Devil's Rejects, and he's Captain Spaulding.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this movie, I think the biggest, I mean, I don't want to go too deep, but it plays off pretty similar to the original movie, Laurie. But the fact is they clump 1 and 2 together because they make it known that Laurie is Michael's sister, and you get some really brutal kills in this one. This definitely is way more brutal than probably any Halloween we've seen before. That's zombie for you.
Yeah.
But I think the thing that I have the biggest complaint about is the fact that like zombie I just wish that zombie would get away from that trailer trash talk, especially in a movie like this. Like I feel like when you're talking about the Devil's Rejects or House of a Thousand Corpse or all of there's like 31 and 3 from Hell, those are movies where that dialogue makes sense. Where when you're making a Halloween movie, I understand like make it your own, but let's make it just a tad different, okay? Just make it not like your other stuff, but you just have Michael Myers thrown in there.
You just lean too hard into it. It's like I understand a movie. We've talked about this. I understand there's movies like horror movies generally have a lot of characters that are unlikable.
Mm-hmm.
And just like I can't wait till they get killed. But then you just go way too far into it, and you're just like,
yeah. And I don't know. I actually really enjoy this movie at the 20-minute mark. From starting at that 20-minute mark, this movie is actually pretty well paced. I like the characters. I like the kills. Like I said, I like the relationship. I think Scout Taylor Compton does a fantastic job at conveying emotion. Like when she finds Annie in the house just beaten to shit, and she's just crying, and but then she's going to call the police, and it's like, what's taking so long? She's yelling for her. She's like, Laurie! She's like screaming on the ground, and her boyfriend's just hanging from the ceiling with a mask on. And there's one part where Michael, like when he goes back into the house and just where Annie and the boyfriend are, and the boyfriend's hanging there, he literally just like plays with it. He like pushes it, like he's like, ooh,
fun times.
But Taylor Maine's physicality as Michael Myers is awesome. I think he was really fun to watch on screen, and yeah, I think this movie just needed to be re-edited. It just needed to be looked at one more time, and for somebody to just tap Zombie on the shoulder and be like, man, just get rid of that shitty ass beginning. Get rid of that dialogue. It's just atrocious. It does not need to be in here. It does not add to anything other than you're building Michael's backstory, but you're also not giving us anything new. It's just generic serial killer origin story. And that's not fun, in my opinion. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I agree. That was my biggest gripe to begin with. I just, like I said, and we talked about this before, we have not watched these movies. I've seen kill counts. I've read about them. I've known about his whole thing. Once I found out, like, he's just your atypical serial killer, I was like, doesn't that kind of take the magic away a little bit? Like, I understand he's just supposed to be a man, but then he's also supposed to be, like, the embodiment of evil or whatever. And you just give him, like, he just had a shitty upbringing, like a lot of serial killers. Like, oh, okay. Like, him not just being a child just randomly offing his sister, like, in a white-collar community. It just seemed random as fuck to me.
Yeah.
But it could just be the old man in me talking. And again, I'm not, like, hardcore into this franchise. I do love the original, but... I don't know. That's how
before we move on to Halloween 2, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, let's this movie was released August 31st, 2017 at a budget of $15 million and it made $80.4 million. Not a bad turnout. So, but you know what?
Surprised the budget. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
I mean, to be honest, the way that these movies are made, I'm not surprised. It's not like there's a lot of visual effects being used and stuff like that. It seems pretty normal, probably for 2007 at least.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just thinking in like, I don't know what other movies he's done at this point, 2007. So I guess I'm just thinking of like all of his other clout. I thought it would be at least like 30 mil, but it's fine. It's great that he did it for 15. But
yeah, I mean, and it had good return. That's why we got a sequel. Almost to the date 2 years later. But somebody else I forgot to mention was Brad Dourif as Sheriff Brackett. Brad Dourif, the voice of Chucky, of course, my boy, as you can see on my shirt. I love Chucky. Yeah, I love him. I love him as Sheriff Brackett. He's funny. He's always a joy to be on screen. I love his relationship with Annie.
Got that charm, dude.
Yeah, he's just got the charm. And no offense to the actor who played him in the original. I think he did a great job as well. I just really like Brad Dourif as in this movie. Like I said, these movies are not that bad. And I think the majority of the reason why these movies are fun to watch is because of the cast. Like, it just has a fun cast, like with the exception of a few people.
Yeah, fair.
But I think that's enough talking about Halloween. Rob Zombie's Halloween. I think that was probably the most we've talked about any of these movies, but there's a lot to talk about with this. Yeah. So now it's time to rank it. Now, I'm just going to rank it based on, since I'm the only one who's actually watched the movie.
Yeah.
So I am going to put this at our number 6 currently, under Halloween 2 and above Halloween 6.
We can rank other things though.
We can. Where do we think the mask from this movie should go? Right now,
I like the mask.
Is it better than? Well, let's start from the bottom. We'll go through it quickly, especially if we know. Is it better than the Halloween 5 mask?
Yes.
Better than the H2O masks?
Yes.
Better than the Halloween 4 mask?
Yes.
Better than Resurrection?
Yes.
Yeah.
Better than the Halloween 3 masks?
Yes.
Oh, better than the Halloween 6 mask?
Yes, because I just like the griminess of this mask, I think.
Better than Halloween 2?
Nah, I don't know. Nostalgia's going to kind of take 2 for me. I'm sorry, guys. Like, I think it's going to stop there, too.
It's there, but it's not.
All right, so we'll put...
it's a cool mask. I mean, it's only that high up. I think it's a neat-looking mask.
It definitely looks used. It's not like that clean, shiny, white mask.
I agree.
Yeah, and it looks like the original mask. Yeah. And then you have from what he has in the beginning, and then when he finds it in the floorboards, it's all deteriorating and old. And I like that look.
Okay, now we are on to our final girl or final person. So we're going to be talking about Laurie Strode. Is she better than Sarah from Resurrection?
I don't know.
That's true. I'm the one who watched the movie.
I can only do the math and the poster realistically.
I'm going to say...
we can only go with what scenes we've seen her in.
I'm going to put her as our new number 4, which is below Rachel and Jamie from part 4 and above Laurie from Halloween 2.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
And our final thing is the poster. You guys can rank the poster. Poster's pretty cool. Not gonna lie, it's him facing away, holding his mask and the knife, and then it's got this mask formed based on all of different parts of the movie, like different scenes. And then the tagline, "Evil has a destiny."
That's pretty neat. I think it's we can go
definitely different than what has.
So our bottom of the barrel poster is Halloween 6.
Okay, well, it's better than that.
Halloween H2O.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Halloween Resurrection.
Yeah.
Halloween 3. I'm going to say yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Halloween 4.
Yeah.
Okay, Halloween 5.
Fuck no.
No.
The one thing Halloween 5 has is that poster.
That is it.
They did really
that's
good
great.
on it.
I know, they nailed it.
That's hilarious, though.
You could have the shittiest movie, but you could have a great movie.
I know, and Halloween 5 did it. Okay, now we are going to move on to Rob Zombie's second outing with this franchise, and that is 2009's Halloween 2. Again, this movie was directed and written by Rob Zombie. It again stars a lot of the same actors as the first one. You know, Scout Taylor Compton comes back as Laurie. Malcolm McDowell is back as Dr. Loomis. Taylor Maine is back as Michael Myers, but there's a different Michael Myers, a different kid playing the younger Michael Myers.
Yeah,
we have Chase Wright Vanek because the other kid got older. It kind of outgrew the role. Sherry Moon Zombie's back as Deborah Myers. I guess that was her name. Brad Dourif is back as Sheriff Brackett. Daniel Harris. Bria Grant, who I did not recognize. You guys probably don't know who she is, but I've seen a few movies with her over the last couple of years. She was in a movie I watched called The Stylist, which was fantastic. She's a director, producer, actor, but she was one of Laurie's friends, the one with the glasses. Not that you guys would really know what I'm talking about.
We've probably seen her.
Then we have some actors who would show up in later Rob Zombie movies, like Daniel Roebuck, who shows up in The Munsters. He plays Grandpa. We have Jeff Daniel Phillips, who plays Herman in The Munsters.
I love The Munsters.
Fucking Patrick stars in this movie. Bill Fagerbake is.
Who the fuck's he play?
He plays just a cop. He's one of the deputies.
Fuck yeah, dude.
He's one of
M-O-O-N, baby.
You see him in the scene when they find Annie's body, when she finally gets killed by Michael in this one.
Yeah.
He's the deputy who like comes out of the house and like talks to Brackett about like what's going on or where he needs to go. Yeah. I was like, is that fucking Patrick?
Patrick?
Oh my gosh. I have to tell you a story.
Right now or later?
No.
Richard Brake is in this. I love him as an actor. I think he's terrifying, but his dialogue in this movie is horrible. He's one of the ambulance drivers in the beginning of this.
Yeah, him and the dude he's fucking with.
He's got the most iconic line of the whole movie, though. Cow! Cow! And then they hit a fucking cow and get fucked up. Margot Kidder is in this movie. Lois Lane from the original Superman. She plays the therapist. Laurie's therapist.
Okay.
Yeah. Octavia Spencer's in this movie, and her name is Octavia, which is pretty funny. I feel like they just didn't want to give her a name. They're just like, just be yourself.
Yeah, well, yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah, I love her.
Weird Al's in this as himself.
Yes.
And
weird cameo.
Yeah, weird cameo.
No pun intended.
So yeah, Halloween 2 is a movie that when you look at a lot of people's Halloween rankings, this one is always at the bottom. And I can understand a lot of the reasonings behind that. But after rewatching this movie like a few days ago, I actually came out of it going, that wasn't that bad. The dialogue improved. There is a lot of like very just typical zombie dialogue, but I feel like he toned it down. Like he just turned it down a little bit, and it's like we don't need this throughout the entirety of the movie.
Yeah.
Somebody got to him, and he's like, "Okay, well, okay.
Rob, stop."
Here's the thing, though, with this movie, Rob Zombie didn't want to come back to direct this. He didn't really want to do this, but the Weinsteins kind of forced him to. And they were very much up his ass the entire time he was making this. And so it made for a very just miserable time for him making this movie.
I have a feeling they were like,
yeah.
Hey,
he just did an interview with Howie Mandel on Howie Mandel's podcast where he talks about his experience directing this movie. And he pretty much said like, it was just an awful experience. Like just a little quip from like what he was talking about. He said that there would be, they would film scenes, they would send them in, and he would get notes back from one of them, pretty much being like, "I hate everything. I hate all of this. This is all horrible." And then they would do like test screenings, and people would come out loving it, and then they would send notes on the same scenes that they said were horrible. Oh man, those scenes are great. Make sure to keep those in there. Where he was just getting all these weird mixed signals on what to do and stuff like that.
That's about right.
Yeah.
So we could all hate something, and the majority of people would love it.
Yeah.
You can't just go by 1 to 2 people.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to go by the majority of, like,
That's why they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. The only thing I give a shit about is money. That's it.
But I feel like they overpaid him. They felt like they overpaid him. They're like, you owe us.
Could be.
Yeah, I like the characters in this movie. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think, like I said, Brackett and Annie, I love their relationship. I like of course, Lori lives with them in this one because her parents get murdered in the last one.
Yeah.
And she's going through PTSD. Like, she's having like crazy dreams and flashbacks of just all these different scenarios. She finds out, of course, in the weirdest way possible, that she is Michael Myers' sister, because she doesn't find out through that whole first movie that she is. She finds out in this one about halfway through, just because Loomis wrote a book about the whole situation and wrote in the book that she was Michael Myers' sister, and she finds out by reading the book.
Yeah, this is also, like you said, the last one was like a mix between 1 and 2. This has also got elements of 2 in it as well.
Oh, absolutely. And Loomis is awful in every aspect of this movie. He is just horrendous. I hate the direction they went. Listen, I wasn't a big fan of him in the first one, but
would you prefer, like, stardom, movie star, whatever, high roller Loomis, or would you prefer crazy?
I want crazy. I want crazy. I want crazy Loomis. I want a Loomis who actually feels like he cares that Michael Myers is still out there.
6 times.
Because he just doesn't, like, he just, like, I don't know. I just feel like, I mean, I don't know the real, the reasonings behind the performance or anything, but to me, just watching the movie, it just feels like Malcolm McDowell was there because he got paid really well to be there. And I didn't just feel like, and to be honest, he plays a really good asshole. I'm not gonna downplay that. I feel like, Zombie, the thing is, Zombie gave him, this was the direction he wanted this character to go in. So I can't put all the blame on Malcolm McDowell, because that's kind of the character that he was given. And so he was able to perform and actually give us a good performance in the way that Zombie wanted. But he's just detestable, and he just sucks. And then by the time he shows up at the end to be like, oh, I can help, it's like, no, you can't just make up for all the shitty things you did throughout this entire movie in the last 5 minutes and be like, I'll sacrifice myself. It's stupid. I hated every piece of fucking Loomis in this movie. It's horrible. The white horse shit. Why? This angel weird thing about calling Michael home and getting Lori. It's just, yeah, literally. I've seen this movie a dozen times, and I still don't understand the white horse thing. I don't know why it started. I don't know what is the purpose of it. I feel like it was the only way for it to come to a conclusion. It's just like, she is guiding Michael to go get Angel, because that's her actual name. And it's such a weird thing. And I think that's one of the big things behind people not liking this movie. I like Michael. I think it's cool. This like hobo Michael pretty much walking from wherever he was and kind of making this journey across to get back to Haddonfield.
I don't understand the white horse thing. Was that like just Rob Zombie just being weird and being Rob Zombie? Or
yeah, it was doing something different. He was trying something different. It just didn't work, in my opinion.
Listen, I get it, but sometimes we get the cult of thorns, and sometimes we get the cult of mom on a white horse. So like, I hate when they start bringing that weird symbolism shit into slasher movies.
Yeah.
Like, it's supposed to be like meaningful and like try to elevate it, like, but it usually just comes off as weird as shit and doesn't make sense.
It's like the brightest thing in the whole fucking movie. Like, why do we need like bright white glowing whatever?
The kills are brutal in this movie. They are way they are turned up to a fucking 11 in this one compared to the first one. And that one had some brutal kills. Of course, you get like characters that survived the first one that get offed again in horrible ways. Like Annie, I feel so bad for her character because she gets fucked in the first one, and then the second one she just gets it again, and this time she ends up getting killed. And and of course I love and again I gotta say, like, Danielle Harris is fantastic in this movie. Like the way that she is able to be that supportive friend. You know, she's always being like, you know, she's always embarrassed by her dad because her dad's, you know, she's like a vegetarian and he's not, and it's this like weird like little like 2-minute little dialogue between them, which is pretty funny. And yeah, I don't know. I to be honest, coming out of this movie, I was just like, this movie wasn't that bad. Like there are bad decisions that were made in it, but coming from the start, it wasn't like the first one where I was like, get me out of this. Skip 25 minutes. Like, get me the fuck out of this whole family situation. Like the way this movie starts, yes, it starts off with a dream. It's supposed to be like Laurie. Well, the beginning is Laurie walking down the street after she shoots Michael at the end of the first one. And then she goes to a hospital, and then it's Michael goes to the hospital and just fucking murders everybody and is chasing her and shit happens. But then you find out it's just a dream, which is kind of annoying because it was a really cool sequence. Like the whole thing of him showing up there. Because it does. It's like, it's a complete like throwback to the original Halloween 2. And then it's like, nah, it was just a dream. This is what she's going through. She's going through the PTSD and it's just dreams. And it's like, that kind of sucks. I wish that was like, that shit happened and then Michael just disappeared or whatever. But that's not how it went. And then, and then of course this is Michael dies. You know, Michael gets shot and Loomis dies. And there's two endings. One of the endings is the original ending is Laurie putting on the mask and walking out, but she like falls to her knees and then gets saved. And then there's an alternate ending where she comes out with the knife and it's like she absorbed Michael's powers.
Yeah, she gets locked in the sanitarium thing or whatever.
No, that's the original ending where it shows the white horse go into Laurie as she's sitting on the bed. The other one is she gets shot. She gets killed at the end because she like charges the cops with the knife in hand. So
sure.
But that's Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
I can't like this movie.
Oh, would you stop with that?
What?
They bring the whole pineapple on pizza thing in.
They do. So, Zombies Halloween 1, I had it 6. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Do I like this one better than the first one?
Just forget about the beginning of the first one.
Then no. I like the first Halloween. I like Zombie's first Halloween if you eliminate that first 20 minutes. But I don't hate this one. Like I actually enjoyed it. It's tough. I think I'm gonna have to have Zombies movies like back to back. So it's gonna be. I think I'm gonna put Zombies H2 at number 7. The Mask. Now there are 2 different versions of the mask. There's the kind of the more deteriorated mask that he wears for the majority of the movie, and then during an attack scene at a strip club, he gets a good chunk of it ripped off, so you can actually see his face.
I did that part.
What do you guys think?
I don't think was the mask that much deteriorated from the first one. I don't remember.
It's like more weathered and ripped because of like everything that he went through.
I like the mask more before it got ripped.
Yeah, because when you get ripped, it's like, I mean, it's still, I mean, it's a cool visual because you do see part of his face,
right?
But like, I'm just accounting for the mask at this point, not seeing part of his face.
What did I do? Oh no, what did I do?
Mortis.
I don't want that.
I have the body of a pig.
I'm gonna put it at. What do you think? Like, do you think it's better than the Halloween 6 mask?
Where's that on our list?
At number 4.
Oh, no, I don't think it's that high personally.
Is it better?
If we're taking,
I feel like we're
taking this. What's up?
No, I feel like the Halloween 3 masks are going to keep dropping, and people are going to get really upset with where these Halloween 3 masks are going to be.
I was actually going to say the mask of this, I think as a whole, like the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie, like it's one combined thing. And I don't think it's as good as the Halloween 3 masks because you start losing that when you tear like that huge chunk of it off, it just kind of loses a bit of it for me. So
All right, so I'm
that's
gonna
what I
put.
think.
We'll put it at number 6 because, to be honest, I feel like it's better than the Resurrection mask.
Okay, sounds good.
Does that sound good for you guys?
Go let you, wife.
Yeah, I'm trying to fix it. Yeah, I agree.
All right. Well, Lori is our final girl again.
This is all you, baby.
To be honest, she doesn't do a lot in this movie other than run around and scream. At least in the first one, we got to see her fight. She doesn't really do a lot in this, to be honest. So I think I got to put her pretty low. To be honest, I think I'm gonna have to put her like towards the bottom, like below.
Okay.
Like, is she better than Sarah from Resurrection? At least she did something.
Oh, I mean, I never watched it, but I'm going to assume yes.
Okay. Jamie from Halloween 5. You know what? I'm going to put her below Tommy and Kara from Part 6.
Okay.
All right. And then the poster, which very generic poster is kind of just it's an action shot of him coming down. Is it better than H6?
Where's that at? Oh yeah. Well,
that's the bottom.
What do you think, dear?
I think so.
I can tell you where I'd put it, but we can go through the list.
I just like the action shot.
I mean, it's not a bad shot.
It's not.
I think it stops it before Halloween 3.
So put it after Halloween 3?
Like, it should be below Halloween 3.
Okay.
Because Halloween 3, even though that shot of Jason feels like a stock shot with background elements added.
Yeah.
Where Halloween 3 is a stock shot with elements added, but I think it looks better than the Halloween 2 poster.
All right, and then I already
ranked. What do you think? No, I mean,
I agree. Well,
all right, do we have any other comments we want to talk about with Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, or are we now ready to hop into David Gordon Green's trilogy? As of today, which is October 19th, yes, if you couldn't tell, we've had to record on multiple days since we're all wearing different clothes. Today, as we're recording this segment, it is October 19th, 2023. So that's been exactly 5 years since this next movie came out, and that is David Gordon Green's Halloween 2018. So this was directed by David Gordon Green, of course, as I just stated. Written by Jeff Fradley, David Gordon Green, and Danny McBride. Yeah, you heard me right. It was produced by Jason Blum. Stars Jamie Lee Curtis coming back as Laurie Strode. We have Judy Greer as Karen. We have Andy Matichak as Allison. We have James Jude Courtney as our new Shape. Also, Nick Castle does play the Shape in a couple scenes in this movie. We have Haluk Bulginer as Dr. Rambar Sartain. We have Will Patton as Deputy Hawkins.
It's Satine, actually.
What? That's not what it says.
Thanks, Satan. It's Satine, actually.
Oh.
Sorry,
you're. I have a very kid brain. I'm just thinking that you just said vagina, and I'm like,
what? Who said vagina?
No, Bill Jiner.
Oh, Bill Jiner. Like Gundam, Quattro Vagina. It's fucking Quattro Vagina. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, Lord.
Listen, Linda.
Gundam.
I'm easily amused.
We have Dylan Arnold as Cameron, Miles Robbins as Dave. Miles Robbins, by the way, is the son of Susan Sarandon and Tim Robbins, which is pretty funny.
Interesting.
Omar Dorsey as Sheriff Barker, just the dude who walks around with a cowboy hat all the time.
Cowboy hat.
I'm here. And PJ Souls does a voice cameo in this movie. She played what the hell was it? What was the other friend? Not Annie.
Wow.
Who was the other original friend of Laurie's?
I don't fucking remember.
Oh, I don't remember her name.
Yeah, I can't remember her name either.
Tits McBirthing Hips?
Oh, no, she played Linda. It says it right fucking there. Yeah, she played PJ Souls, who played Linda in the original film. She does a voice cameo as Allison's teacher.
Oh.
Yeah. This movie, of course, was released October 19, 2018. It had a budget of $10 million, and it made $259.9 million, making
Yes,
it
it
the
did.
highest grossing Halloween film in the franchise. Crazy. So, what do we think of Halloween 2018?
What do I think of it?
Well, yeah,
What do you think?
as a
of it?
collective
I
here.
I've got nothing good to say, so go ahead.
You don't have anything good to say?
No, go ahead.
I thoroughly enjoyed this one.
I like this movie a lot too.
Mhm.
For being from then to now, I was so ready for it. And then when I saw it, I was like,
It's very good.
it was good.
This
I
is
love the people in it. Jamie Lee Curtis can only get better and better throughout the years. I mean, if I was her age, I would want to have a buddy like that.
yeah, she kills it. She kills it in this movie.
I mean,
I've got a weird thing where I'm not the biggest fan of Judy Greer.
I think it's
I don't know
mostly
why.
I actually really like Judy Greer in a lot of the stuff she does.
She looks mopey all the time.
I like
But
her more in
also,
the
I
stuff
just don't
that
like
she
the
used to
dialogue
do.
they gave her in this movie. They just give her
Yeah,
some
they didn't
weird dialogue
her
choices
justice.
and
It's not even her dialogue choices. I'm not a fan of Judy Greer in other stuff. It's just like I know she's a decent actress. I just not a fan of her. Like I never have been.
Oh my gosh, she
That
was
like
Jerry
Jurassic.
in Jurassic
Yes,
World.
she was. That's what I was just about to say. Fucking mopey mom.
But her name is
Seriously?
the
You're gonna do
same.
the mom thing?
Her name is the same.
she likes playing
Anyway.
characters named Karen.
Oh, well.
This is the
Yeah.
one, and this is the only
No.
Halloween movie I've ever seen in theaters. I went to see it in theater,
I like
and I was just fucking ecstatic as soon as you hear John Carpenter's score, which the score was not just done by John Carpenter, but his son Cody and Daniel Davies, and they would do the music for the entire trilogy,
When
and
you have
it's all
something
fantastic.
like your dad as an awesome, amazing composer,
Yeah,
Yeah, but you don't think of him that way because he's just your dad at that point,
right.
but you learn you
in theory.
get to learn that. I'm going with my dad to work every single damn day. I'm gonna learn.
Well, yeah, but we say that, but then again, you see your parents differently. Your parents can be the coolest thing in the world. And I've heard this from actors and actresses and designers and artists. They just see them as their parents and not this great thing that a lot of other people see them as.
Which is true, and they see, I see my dad different. I've learned a lot of stuff from my dad. I mean, I've learned how to do all kinds of stuff on my car. I learned how to bleed brakes, change tires,
Dispose of a
change
body
the
in
oil.
acid.
When
I
stop
do
it.
things in the South. I'm not judging.
You learn to be self-sufficient from your parents, or that's what your parents are supposed to teach you. My mom taught me. Mom taught me different things. I learned how to play the piano. I learned how to type on a keyboard. I aced keyboarding in high school because I was typing. My mom was a transcriptionist when I was a kid. So I was typing.
So you're like super fast.
Not so much anymore because I've not kept up with that skill. But now to see my kids trying to take after that, our middle one is teaching himself how to play the piano, which is what
That's
my
cool.
mom did.
That's cool.
So, like I get how you see your parents different, but
I know. I get it.
I love music. So if I was John Carpenter's son, daughter, I would go to work with him every single day.
If you like.
Be like, Dad, let me skip school. I'm going to work with you.
So yeah, this is another timeline. Of course, it completely retcons every Halloween other than the original. This is a direct sequel to the original. Well, 40 years later, of course. This is, Michael was caught at the end of the first movie, and he's been in was it Hillsgrove? What the hell's the sanitarium? sanatorium place that he goes to. But yeah, he's been there for 40 years, and he breaks out, just kind of very similar to the original movie.
Well, he breaks out because of shitty podcasts.
Why do they always make podcasters in movies just be the most just annoying people? I mean, yes,
really
we are
are.
annoying. We are fucking
We're pieces of
annoying.
shit.
People are going to be really annoyed when they listen to this and they go, this is 2 parts, almost 2 hours each.
At least we're getting
God
2 parts, not
damn.
just one episode.
So I feel like podcasters and
Go ahead.
you were talking about strippers and stuff. I don't think we're giving enough credit for what we do. Like yeah, there are some out there that I've listened to and I'm like, shit, you're boring. But you get the ones that are out there that are doing justice for the movies, that are bringing those movies that people wouldn't normally listen to light. And then people are like, hey, because I've heard some, and I'm like, I've never heard this movie. I'm going to go watch it now.
Yeah.
So, and then you find a new favorite movie. But they only pull at that one part. Because, yeah, we're annoying. But,
sometimes
no.
We're not out there prodding. We're not out there prodding hornets. Here's your mask, Michael. Go do something. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, that part really kind of, after rewatching it, you're like, God, and it sits there for so long to the point where like all the other inmates are going crazy, reacting to it, and yeah, it's weird. You know, the fact that
acting like zoo animals.
I love the fact that it just erases a lot of the stuff that they created in the lore of this franchise. The fact that like they got rid of the sibling aspect, and I love how they mention it.
Thank goodness.
They're like, oh, I heard that Michael was her brother or Laurie Strode's brother, and he's like, no, that was just something people made up to, you know, get attention or get headlines or whatever. And also the fact that Laurie throughout this entire movie and even it bleeding into the second one, she believes that Michael is after her, but in reality he just goes where he goes. He just goes wherever and kills whoever. He has no,
he just picked her, and like
there's no mission. His mission is to go home, to be honest. His mission is to always go home
and eat dogs.
And eat dogs. Yeah, another thing, just a thing that I've never liked about Michael is the fact he kills dogs
and wear blue jumpsuits.
Yeah, I mean the kills in this movie are brutal. This got some brutal kills. The one with the bathroom scene, of course, even the guys that he kills to get the jumpsuit, like the dude at the desk where his jaw is like detached. But yeah, I mean, damn, imagine taking a shit though, and like you got to run away from a serial killer. Like she didn't even get to wipe, and she dies with a poopy ass there. Well, she didn't even get to wipe.
She gets some extra teeth. She's like, give these to the tooth fairy.
Yeah,
tell the tooth fairy I'll see her again or him.
Yeast infection because she gets.
But that that bathroom scene's really cool though.
Listen, that's rough. Stop it.
I believe it is. I'm not judging. I just want to make a sourdough comment.
But I also got to state, my favorite line from this movie is, "Ah, man, I got peanut butter on my penis."
When was that?
Allison's dad, when you first meet him, he's like fucking around with peanut butter, and he's like, "Oh man, I got peanut butter on my penis." I'm like,
oh no!
Is your penis just hanging out? Is it just flopping around in front of your wife and daughter? Like, this is weird, man.
There's a lot more dudes out there than you realize that probably can relate with that.
Yeah.
I've got a nut. Listen, I've got a nut allergy, so I can't. But that's not true.
If you teabag someone with a nut allergy, is that considered attempted murder?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You can't tell me otherwise. I know lawyers. I'll ask them.
Okay.
No, here I am sitting here thinking, oh gosh, he's trying to bait
Lord.
Michael Myers as the dogs.
Oh, he's like, I'll get him by putting peanut butter on my penis. That will lure the dogs in, which will lure Mike in.
One of the things I really don't like about this movie, though, is
like, shut up.
Dr. Sartain. Don't like this character. I don't like his motivation. Like he wants to see Michael in the wild, so he lets him sets him free, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like what? And he's, of course, he's the reason why Michael goes to Laurie's compound because Sartain brings him there instead of, Laurie thinks that Michael is just after her. But that whole
He
final,
escorts them.
yeah, pretty much. He brings them to her doorstep. And, there's some weird, like, just scenes that did not need to be here. Like, just a weird drastic turn of the fact that, like, Allison's boyfriend gets caught, like, kissing another girl, like, 2 feet away from Allison. And he throws her phone into the, like, fucking queso. And it's just a whole weird situation. Then, like, his friend is, like, tries to make out with her. I'm like, what the fuck? But his kill's cool. I like the fucking fence post through the chin.
Yep. I like survivalist Laurie Strode.
Yes, very cool. The fact that like she has feared Michael her entire life to the point where her daughter gets taken away from her. She doesn't have a good relationship with her family, and she's suffering. She's suffering deeply. Like she's going through it with PTSD and all that stuff, and but then Michael finally does show up and starts killing people, and pretty much is like, I told you so. And then of course that final showdown at her compound is fucking awesome. It's one of the best endings to a Halloween movie, and 100% to be honest, this is how the Halloween franchise should have ended. The end of this movie is just so good. Like the fighting Michael through the house and him hiding and like them playing kind of like hide and seek with each other, and then her getting thrown off the roof, like kind of the role reversal from the first movie. And then of course the showdown where the best part of Karen's character is when she's down in that basement and she's like acting like she's really scared. Like, I can't do it, Mom. Where are you? And then when Michael walks in, she's like, gotcha. And she shoots him, and they lock him in the basement and set the house on fire. It's such a cool ending. It's so great. Just fucking burn them alive. And I love when they're driving away and the house is ablaze. And it's like, burn, burn. But then you see the fire trucks drive by and they're like, no, let it burn. It's so good. I just wish this was how it ended. It just should have never gone on any farther than this.
This series of movies, and I'll tell it then. I don't want to get like into spoiler stuff. So
this is how I thought it was going to end. Like I was like, okay, this is great, and then they announced the next one, and I was like, well, shit.
Oh, I wonder what are
they gonna do now?
Right. Well, we'll talk more about what they should have done, but let's get to our rankings because I feel like we don't really need to deep dive into Halloween 2018 because these next 3 movies are pretty fresh in people's minds.
Yes.
Like I said, this one just hit its 5th anniversary, so and it's to be honest, it's pretty cut and dry. There's not a lot of intricate scenes in this. It's a lot of kind of the same beats as you get in like the original Halloween. It's like you get a core group of friends. You got the one that's a babysitter. She's babysitting that kid Julian or Julius or whatever his name was. He's hilarious, by the way.
Oh, that one little kid that cuts out. He's like, I'm out of here. It's the smartest fucking dude in all these movies, dude.
Well, he watches his babysitter get murdered.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that you get characters that kind of tie into the other 2 movies as well. So you get like the woman who leads the podcasters to Judith Meyer's gravestone is she'll show up again in the 2nd and 3rd one. But yeah, I mean, this movie's awesome. I really this is like in my personal rankings, this is like top 3 for me in this franchise.
Oh God, yeah.
But will it be as a core group? Will it be top? Let's go through it. I don't know. Let's go. Let's talk about The Mask. Of course, this is supposed to look like the original Mask, but it's very weathered. It's a 40-year-old mask, which in reality, that mask wouldn't have existed. It would have just it would have been so bad. It probably would have tried to put it on. It would just like turned into dust.
Yes.
But here we go. So yeah, where does The Mask for Halloween 2018 go? In my opinion, I feel it's got to go high. It's
it has to be very similar to the first one.
Top 2.
But it
definitely up there.
It definitely has aged.
Oh yeah, it's aged a lot. I mean, it's 40 years if you think about it.
Well, yeah. Like
because The Mask from the first Halloween is like brand new. He stole from a store, and this one's been hiding, like been in a I'm guessing an evidence locker for the last 40 years or wherever the hell the podcaster said he got it from.
I'm assuming
eBay.
it's in a
Timu.
Yeah, he got it from Timu. You got it from Amazon like me for $20.
No.
Okay.
These are the ones from Wish. Don't rope that one in.
Okay, so if that's the case, what would be the mask from Timu? Part 6? Resurrection?
Ooh, 5.
5. Oh,
That mask is
you said
horrible. It's fucking
You got to get
horrendous.
one from Timu, one from Wish. Like which one are you?
Well, you said 4 and 5 was Wish.
No.
Why is this part of the conversation?
I don't know. Well, where is this mask
You brought
going?
it
Do you
up.
think this is? Well, let's go to our top 3 because I feel like it's better than 4 and down. So let's go to our top 3 right now. So is it better than the zombie Halloween 1 mask? Yes.
I think so. Yes, I think so.
Is it better than the original Halloween 2 mask?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So it is now our new number 3.
It's a branch off of 2. I feel like.
Did you exchange those 2? Or would you always put 2 ahead of it?
What, can you just like take it to the store and be like, I want a refund? No, I'm just kidding.
Like, sir,
Just kidding.
ma'am, you can't bring these back. KB Toy Store does not exist anymore. Like, okay, I'm sorry.
So for our final characters, I'm going to group the 3. I'm going to call them the Strode ladies, the Strode trio of Lori, Karen, and Allison. Where do you think they go? Because I think they're also top.
They're high.
Yeah.
Lori
So,
and the Strodettes.
Let's go to our top
Yes.
3 for the final girl right now. Our number 3 is Rachel and Jamie from Halloween 4. Better than Lori from the original Halloween.
I say no, just because there's always gonna be that OG
biased.
bias.
Yeah,
So
but it's
I
still,
will
but
let
still, it's like
you-
this is badass.
I
The way that this movie
know.
ends and
I
how
like her.
badass they are.
I know.
I think
'cause
the only one that it doesn't stand up against is Lori from H2O, who I think is probably in my opinion, the most badass Lori we get in this entire franchise.
she just gets better and better with age. I mean,
Like
she
this is a
ages
really
like
badass
fine
Lori,
wine.
but Lori from H2O is fucking
I
awesome.
know.
I like her in this movie a lot because she's a badass, but she's also like very mentally damaged. Not like
Yeah.
her in the first one, but she's like,
She's lived with this for how many
I
years?
understand, but but she's lived with it it seems like without, like Lori in H2O seems like she's taken stuff to try to help. This one she's just like, fuck this is how I'm gonna do it,
Mm.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because I feel like nothing at this point has worked,
No.
has helped. She's done whatever for, the allotted amount of time, and she is like, fuck it. I'm gonna do what I want to do.
I think that's number 2.
All right. Number 2 it is. So Strode trio.
And I just feel like she has taught her family well. Like, she taught them what she has learned. And they're like, yeah, she's been through shit. So we're going to listen to her.
Yeah, she used to do a very good job of it. We'll talk about that in a second. Like well, balancing, like teaching her kids to survive, which worked.
Yeah.
But also kind of like alienated her at the same time. So,
All right. Next is poster. Which the poster I have on IMDb, which is the theatrical release poster, is the one where it's Michael in the background and Lori kind of looking as like a profile shot of her.
okay, that's different than the one we have here.
Well, not
The
IMDb,
one-
but Wikipedia's poster that they have.
Okay, the only one that I've seen is the one where it's just the mask.
It's just him in the top left corner. It's just his
Which I think
face.
is what a lot of things. I think that's what the Blu-ray has. I wish I
just
knew where
pulled
it
up-
was, but yeah.
Just the Halloween 2018 poster.
Well, I just pulled up movie posters.
I know, just say Hollywood 2018 poster. It'll come up.
It's a pretty basic poster. Nothing overly special. It's just the mask, the updated mask.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I feel like it's gonna be. Is it better than Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 poster?
I mean,
Well, hang on, let me.
if it's going by the one we see, then yes.
Oh,
If it's the one with her,
I see it.
We'll go by your poster because I feel like that's the one that's the what you
It's
see the most.
basically just that mask in the top corner.
Yeah,
Like, that's all
and
you see.
I like it. It's simple, and I think it's better than just the stock photograph, just for like atmosphere sakes.
All right, better than Halloween 3.
What do you think?
I think so.
Okay.
Better than Halloween 4.
Yeah.
Okay, better than Rob Zombie's Halloween 1.
Yeah.
Oh, Halloween 5.
No.
No, Halloween 5's poster is just so good.
It's so good.
Why is it so good?
I like that this one is showing Michael with some kind of emotion. Like, yeah, you can't get much emotion out of a mask, but it's almost like he's like, okay, you know, we got to end this. Like, come on.
Halloween 5. Its poster is the only thing that's going to get top billing because
Yeah,
the poster is the only good thing out of that
good.
movie. It's so good. All right, and finally, let's rank this movie. Do you think this is top 3?
Yeah.
Is it better than H2O?
I enjoy this more than H2O, yes.
Is it better than Halloween 3?
Probably.
I'll let you guys,
yeah.
Because I would say
yes.
Like, as a film.
Okay.
I mean, okay. I love Halloween 3 for different reasons. I like it for being different, but as a Halloween movie, I think it hits the notes well and it flows good. You know, I think it's good.
Is it better than the original?
I don't think so.
All right. So Halloween 2018 is our new number 2. Wow. All right. Now on to its sequel.
Parker's like, okay.
What?
I agree with you.
Well,
No, I'm just kidding.
What happened? What did I do?
He said,
I think if he had an issue, he would state, like, I don't agree with that. I just think you guys are fucking stupid, and I think it's below Halloween 5, but that's fine.
You think 18's below Halloween 5?
No, we're just speaking. I'm speaking for you. I'm sorry. Because you didn't say anything when we put it at the number 2 slot. I was like, he'll let you know.
No, I mean, I agree. I don't think it's better than the original. I think the original is still top dog, and I think it's going to stay top dog, to be honest, especially when we talk about these final 2 movies.
Oh, God, yes.
But now we are on to our second to last film of this franchise, 2021's Halloween Kills.
With the tagline, Evil Dies Tonight.
There was no tagline on this for some reason.
In my mind, it is.
Usually every poster has a tagline. Yeah, right. This again was directed by David Gordon Green, written again by Danny McBride, David Gordon Green, and then we got a new writer, Scott Teems. It was again produced by Jason Blum and produced by Blumhouse. Again, starring Jamie Lee Curtis, Judy Greer, Andy Matichak, Will Patton. We have Anthony Michael Hall coming in here, and oh boy, he's there. We have Thomas Mann, who plays a younger version of Frank Hawkins. We've talked about Thomas Mann before because he was in Kong Skull Island.
Yes, he was.
We have Robert Longstreet as Lonnie Elam. We have Dylan Arnold back as Cameron, James Drew Courtney back as The Shape, along with Nick Castle. We have Charles Cyphers is back as Lee Brackett from Part 2.
Oh, yeah.
Nancy Stevens is back as Marion Chambers. She was last in a Halloween movie in H2O back in 1998. And Kyle Richards returns to play Lindsay Wallace all the way from the original 1978 Halloween, playing little old Lindsay Wallace. She's back, but as a much older person.
He's grown.
Yes. This movie was released October 15th, 2021 in theaters and on Peacock. That's how I watched it because it was during that weird phase of COVID where I was like, I don't feel like going to the theater. And so I watched this on the Cock. And
we're back to Cock. Let us watch it.
Listen, if HBO Max can go to Max, then Peacock can go to Cock.
I can.
Just saying.
I'd watch it.
The budget was $20 million, so a $10 million boost in budget between 2018 and Kills, and it made $133.4 million, which is pretty good for a movie that was happening during kind of a weird phase of COVID, where a lot of people, especially when it came out the same day on a streaming service, the fact that it still made over $100 million, pretty damn good performance. Yeah. So, Halloween Kills, of course, this movie takes place right after the end of Halloween 2018.
Yeah, like right.
Yes. Has one of possibly the greatest openings of any of the Halloween movies. It's so fucking cool. Where Michael literally tears an entire fire department to shreds coming out of the burning house because he somehow finds the gun, she stored her guns he hid in there. so he didn't fucking die. And then he escapes, and it's really cool. And then he just goes on a killing spree.
Murks all the fucking firefighters. It's sweet.
It's epic. And then of course you get Lori. She's back in the hospital, and she's pretty much hospital bound for the majority of this movie. We've talked about this movie before because we did a fresh cut back when it did release. So if you want to know our full thoughts on Halloween Kills, at least our first thoughts on Halloween Kills, go back and listen or watch that. My views are going to be a little bit different now than they were back when we first saw the movie, because I actually liked this movie in my second watch. I actually liked it a lot more in my second watch than when I initially watched it back in 2021. I think the kills are really good. I think, I don't know. I just like the atmosphere of the whole thing. I think the Tommy Doyle Evil Dies Tonight bullshit is what really brings this movie down. And to be honest, I get where David Gordon Green was going with this direction, where it was like, yeah, this is a thing that happens, mob mentality. And we mentioned it in our original fresh cut about the mob mentality of the fact of like, he stirs up this chaos in the town. Like Michael Myers is killing people, but it was the whole thing of, you really thought that little 5'5" guy with long hair who carries an umbrella, he's literally the fucking Penguin. You thought he was Michael Myers? Well, we've never seen him without the mask. And it's like, yeah, but you've seen him, and he's not fucking 5.5 feet tall. Like, what are we doing here? The Big John, Little John stuff was funny. I actually enjoyed that stuff. I really enjoyed it. It's
hilarious.
It kind of changes the tone a bit though of the movie when you get to that part, because it brings that comedic tone to it, which is fine. But it sometimes goes a little too far, and you're like, all right, where are we going here? Are we going into a parody here? Like, what's happening? I like the little callbacks I do. Of course, you get to see the Halloween 3 masks again, that the bullies wear. You get to see some returning characters. You know, Kyle Richards is back as Lindsay Wallace. You got Marion Chambers back. You have, some just core, original cast members. Charles Cypher is back as Brackett. Doesn't do anything. He's kind of pointless. So the focus of this movie is ultimately just like the mob mentality and Lori continuing to think that Michael is after her, but this is where you get the clarification. This is where you get the Sheriff Hawkins or Deputy Hawkins, who is pretty much like, no, Sartain brought him to your house. That's why he was there. He wasn't after you. He just brought you there. Like this, that's not how he works.
It was all just chance.
Yeah. And then of course, you get the showdown between kind of the Strode trio there. They kind of all get split up, but they all kind of fight Michael. And this is where you kind of get though the whole thing where it's like, is Michael supernatural in some way? Because the fact that the whole thing at the end where Michael fights Allison, ends up killing like her boyfriend, his dad, but Karen shows up, steals the mask, and leads him to the group, to the mob, and the mob just beats the shit out of him, like stabbing him, shooting him, all this stuff. And then you get the whole speech from Lori talking about, how when he kills, the more he kills, the more powerful he becomes. And then as she is making that speech, it shows Michael getting up and just destroying everybody, and
magically.
Yeah, and that's kind of where the movie kind of goes down for me. But I think everything kind of in between I actually enjoyed, other than the fact of hearing Evil Dies Tonight 7,000 times. I was like, ugh. And this Tommy Doyle sucks. Like, I just cannot stand Tommy Doyle in this movie. I can't stand him talking to himself. Like anytime he got old Huckleberry as the bat. He's I'm gonna get you so hard. I'm gonna say night night. I'm like, who the fuck are you talking to, bro? The fuck are you doing? Like, shut up.
It's the same with some of the people. Like, it's the scene where after they find the Halloween 3 masks, the kids wearing Halloween 3 masks, and it's that first entourage where they just get smoked. killed inside the car, and the one lady shoots herself in the head with the fucking deagle. It's
yeah,
like, wow.
Marion literally gets brought back into the franchise just to die immediately. I'm like, damn, they just did her just as dirty as they did in H2O.
Yes.
Like, what the fuck, man? But yeah, I mean, like I said, I actually enjoyed this movie the second time. Yeah, it still has its problems. To be honest, I don't think it needed to exist because I think 18 just ended so perfectly.
Yep.
But I don't hate this movie. I could go back and rewatch it. Like this is one of those movies where like I'm just doing shit around the house and I could just pop it on, or I'm editing a podcast. I could just throw this movie on and not really fully pay attention to it. But it's one of those things you look up and Michael's just fucking going to town on someone. You're just like, all right, cool. So let's get to our rankings on this one. Currently, let's see. Let's start with The Mask. So The Mask is, of course, the same mask as the first one, but it's slightly burned on one side.
I do like that they kept that.
They kind of keep that all consistent, I think, between all three of these movies. I think all the damage and stuff.
You can tell though that the damage does progress.
Yes.
As the movies go. So, like I said, like it's kind of like a Two-Face look to it. Like it still has that original look of the 18 mask, but it has the melted look on the other side. So where do we think this is gonna go? We have
Mask.
I'm gonna say under 3.
Under the Halloween 3 mask?
Mm-hmm.
Above Zombies Halloween 2 mask?
Yeah.
All right, Angela made the decision. Dan, we have to go with it.
I mean, you guys can disagree.
Oh, to be honest, I agree. But here's the thing. I'm looking at this real quick and I'm like, why is Halloween 6's mask so high?
I don't think I had anything to do with that.
I don't know why it's so high. It's at number 5. Like I'm kind of confused.
That's a little confusing.
I like the Halloween Kills mask. I just think that
bump it down a few.
I just think that the 3 from Halloween 3 is, I think they're just
No, I'm gonna do some switcheroos here.
I don't care.
So Halloween 3, the masks from Halloween 3 are now at number 5, below Zombies Halloween 1 mask and above Kills. And Halloween 6's mask dropped to number 7, above Halloween 2, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 mask.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Next one is.
I think they were all under the influence in it.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on there. I'm like, why is Halloween 6's mask so? I feel like people are going to be mad about the H2O masks, and it's okay. Yeah. I understand, but I don't like those masks. They're awful. Final girl. Who's our final girl?
It ain't
Allison. I'd say Allison. Allison and Karen.
It has to be.
Well, yeah,
I would say I would probably just say Allison.
What if they can't be Karen because she dies?
Yeah, she does. Which I watched the extended cut. This was the only Halloween movie I had to fucking rent. Because this was the only Halloween movie that wasn't on a streaming service, and everybody be like, physical media. Yeah, I know, but I don't own this movie. And literally every Halloween movie.
At the time we watched it.
When we watched
every Halloween movie in the this entire franchise was on a streaming service, one or the other.
Yeah.
But I rented the extended cut. And at the end of the extended cut, there's 2 versions of the ending. You get the original version, which is Michael kills Karen and Laurie kind of just talks while it's happening. Yeah. In the extended cut version, it's the original ending, which was supposed to lead to a different version of Halloween Ends, which is Michael kills Karen and Karen's phone rings and it's Laurie, and Michael picks up the phone and you can hear him breathing. And she hears him and she's like, I'm coming for you, Michael. And then drops the phone and walks away with the knife in hand. And that was supposed to lead to Halloween Ends, which was supposed to take place right after Halloween Kills, which is what should have happened. But
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot better of a fucking ending, because I was even shocked that she died. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So Halloween.
Huh.
So we'll say Allison is our final girl.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I actually think she's pretty badass in this movie. Like, she stands up to Michael. She does some things, but I don't think she's, I don't know.
She's not quite Laurie Strode.
No, well, no. That's a lot to. There's a lot
Hey,
there.
I can always point out the obvious.
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, better than Sarah from Resurrection.
Yes.
Better than Jamie from H5.
Yes.
Better than Lori from Zombies Halloween 2. Again, like we said, she didn't really do anything. Tommy and Kara from Part 6.
Yeah.
Dr. Chalice from Halloween 3. Yeah, I think we know the answer to that question.
Listen, if she was married to a woman and she was out being a doctor, fucking all the nurses and stuff, then it would be different. It's got nothing to do with her gender. I'm just saying, she's just not Tom Atkins.
All right, that's fine.
She don't have the sideburns.
Or the mustache.
Or the mustache.
Poster.
Porn stash.
Just womb broom, I'm sorry.
So the poster I have right here is kind of similar to the 2018 mask, but it's the other... He's looking in the other direction, and you see like the burnt part of his mask.
Yeah, that's what we see. Like that.
I do like in these movies they don't show his eyes.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that's how it always should be. I think that's why I don't like the H2O masks. Because you see his eyes too clearly. They always should, like when Loomis describes Michael Myers in the first movie, he talks about how he has like the blackest eyes, like doll's eyes, or no, like devil's eyes. Doll's eyes. I was getting the Jaws. That's it from Jaws. Yeah.
Could you imagine, dude? Holy
Jaws
shit!
eyes.
Who was the actor that plays Quint?
Robert Shaw.
Could you imagine if Robert Shaw was fucking?
Oh, it would have been fucking amazing. Fortunately,
dude, he would just beat Michael's ass.
I think he died. The same year that Halloween came out. Yeah.
Damn.
But he would have had to been intoxicated to do his
the whole
monologue.
fucking time. He better have a flask on his hip as Loomis.
I feel like Donald Pleasance probably was he probably was swinging back on some something. He's like, oh, what the fuck am I doing here? I'm making $2 an hour.
They don't call it a vocal lubricant for nothing. It makes you talk more.
All right, so where are we putting this poster?
Well, I think it's better than like all the shit like H2O, Resurrection, Halloween 2.
It's no better.
I mean, the 2000 whatever Halloween 2.
It's no better than this one.
It's not as good as the first one of the 2018. It's not as good as Halloween 2018.
All right, is it better than Rob Zombie's Halloween?
Would we put that over 2018 or under it?
Under it. You said it's not better than 2018, but is it better than Rob Zombie's Halloween 1?
I like it so much.
The kills? You really do?
I just...
That's fine if you do. I'm just asking.
I think they're simplistic, but they're cool. I just like the fact that it's just Michael's mask.
Yeah, I like the simplicity of it, but it's so detailed in... They kept the burns.
Like the fire and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's not like in your face. It's like in like the background. When did we get away from the pumpkin? That was part 2. I was right.
I think they only did it for the first 2. Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. You just got cut off.
All right, our final one is ranking this movie. So
you're gonna be higher in this movie than I will.
I think, in my opinion, I think it's better. I think I would put it below Halloween 2, above Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Then that's I can't say anything because you've seen Rob Zombie's Halloween, and I like.
Well,
Halloween
is it better than Halloween 2?
No.
Okay. Well, is it better than Halloween 6?
Yes.
Okay, because that's the only thing above Halloween 6 is the 2 Rob Zombie Halloween.
That's
so fair. Kills is going to be our new number 7. So now we have one left. One final film in this almost 5-hour episode between 17 parts, because God, this is going to be fun to edit.
Let's release the whole thing on YouTube Shorts.
I don't think every movie is just
No, just the whole thing just cut down to like 1 minute sections. Anyway, sorry.
Lord, that's a lot of work. So the final film in the franchise, as of right now, is 2022's Halloween Ends. So Halloween Ends, again, directed by David Gordon Green, written by Paul Brad Logan, Chris Bernier, Danny McBride, and David Gordon Green. Again, produced by Jason Blum and Blumhouse. Again, returning is Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode, Andy Matichak as Allison. We have new cast member Rohan Campbell as Corey Cunningham. Will Patton as Deputy Frank Hawkins. Kyle Richards is back as Lindsay Wallace. James Hugh Courtney is back as The Shape with Nick Castle again. And kind of that's the cast of this movie. There's not really a huge cast. You get like characters here and there. You got like Corey's mom and his stepdad and those shitty fucking band members and stuff like that. All right. So this movie was released on October 14th, 2022. Again, this was another one that was both released in theaters and on Peacock in the same day. It had a $33 million budget, which a $13 million increase in budget from Kills. And it made $105.4 million at the box office, which is, again, pretty good for a movie that was released day and day, theaters and streaming. Halloween Kills, another movie we did a fresh cut on this movie when it came out. This was a movie that really just departed from what I feel like they were trying to do with the first two Halloween movies. And from what I read is the fact that we talked about it with the Kills ending, the original ending that is in the extended cut, is that the third movie was supposed to take place right after Kills. Like it was supposed to all happen within the same like 2 days. And
I would like that.
Yeah, me too.
Sense.
But instead, they moved it. It's like, I don't even know how many years. I can't remember how many years it was. I think it's like 4 or 5 years. Right? No, it's like 4 or 5 years. Because I think the beginning of the movie when you meet Corey, which the beginning of this movie is actually really well done. Because it kind of reminds you of like elements of the original movie. Where Corey comes over, he's babysitting this kid and all that stuff. And then, of course, an accident happens where the kid is being a little shit, but they live in the tallest fucking house in the state, and the kid accidentally gets pushed off the railing and dies from the fall. And it's graphic. He gets destroyed. And, of course, like, everyone blames Corey, and everyone calls Corey, a psychopath and stuff like that, even though it was a complete accident. And then it just turns into this weird Christine, the movie. Angela, I just want to fucking point that out, okay? It feels very much like Christine, where Corey is playing the lead character from Christine, where Michael Myers is the car. And he's getting his powers from Michael Myers.
Evil rides tonight!
Yes.
It works there, too!
This movie just has decisions that are just so head-scratchingly just like, what are we doing? Like, yes, in reality, people can fall in love in very short amount of time. I get it. Yeah. It's not unrealistic. But the weird thing is like Allison meets Corey and no joke falls in love with him in like the matter of like a blink of an eye. It's like, oh, I'll do anything for you, Corey. And then like, he admits to like killing somebody and like, she's like, I don't care. Yeah. Like her character, like I liked Allison in the first two movies and I just could not stand her in this movie. I liked her less than I liked Corey. Because they just wrote Corey in such a weird way, man. Like, for one, I just don't like the fact that they did this in the finale of this franchise, or at least what they wanted it to be the end of this storyline. You're going to introduce this new character and this weird thing where it's like, Michael was like, he was full power. He destroyed the entire, he almost wiped out Haddonfield in one night. And so he is all powerful. And then he just disappears. And then
he goes and hides in a fucking drainage ditch.
Yeah, and he's like this frail little man who has an orgasm when he stabs a guy. Like it's just weird. It's just all weird. Even with this most recent watch, no
kink shaming.
Oh, I mean, listen, it was funny. I was watching my wife and I was like, oh, it's the Michael orgasm. It makes me laugh. It's just a bonkers movie, man. It's not. To be honest, when I rewatched it, I didn't hate myself. I think I enjoyed it a little bit more rewatching because I knew I was getting into and I knew the decisions that was going to be made. But like there was just some weird dialogue choices. The whole band, those band bully guys. I'm like, what is this writing?
Who the fuck? Okay, listen. This Corey dude is obviously been through some shit.
Yeah.
But him as an individual on screen is not like a physically minuscule individual. He's not like this little nerdy wimpy guy. Like he's a pretty decent sized dude, and he gets picked on by the fucking band dude
who are in high school. These are high school like dudes in the band. Like and he's like 25 years old.
Happening? Because when I was in band, we got picked on.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's it. I think it was just the whole thing is like we want to make these kids. We want to make the group that usually was getting bullied. We want to make them the bullies, and it's like that's fucking dumb. That's so dumb. And they're just horribly written characters. That are just they die in glorious ways. I loved the whole. I did like the junkyard kills. Yeah. I do like the kills in this movie. I mean, that's something that these movies constantly do well is the kills, like the kill at the doctor's house, you know, pinning the woman to the wall and doing the head tilt again. And, you know,
the throwback.
I hate the scene before that.
Yeah.
But like Corey should have died, but that's fine. Yeah. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to steal Michael's mask. I'll lure him out.
He goes in there. Yeah. Like, what? This man murdered 25 people at the same fucking time. And Corey Cunningham walks into this cave and just wrestles him to the ground and steals his mask. Yeah, I'm like, come on, man.
And it's filmed when you watch it. It's like two dudes in college fighting. Like, fuckers are wrestling over the TV remote. Is what it looks like.
Yeah, just piss poor decisions to end this franchise. You have, you know, Lori, of course, they're trying to make it so she's like moving on and she's trying
domesticated.
Yeah, she's trying to, you know, better herself. I mean, she definitely is more useful in this movie than she was in Kills, or she gets that final showdown. But I feel like they just, the thing is I don't think Corey was like a terrible character. I think they just wrote him in a terrible way. Like I like the beginning of this movie, but there's so much more you could have done. You could have made it where Corey is, you know, he is viewed as this just sick person for killing this kid, even though it was clearly an accident. The town is against him. And he goes down this dark path that kind of, and then have him discover Michael's mask. I don't have him find Michael. Yeah. Have him just find the mask. And then he becomes the embodiment of Michael Myers. And then you could have Michael Myers come back. Like he just shows up and like when he's going, like you could have Corey going around killing people in the town and people are like scared that Michael's back. And then Michael actually comes back and then they have their fight. He kills Corey and then Lori finally faces off against Michael for that final time. And then you get the whole, how this movie actually ends, which I don't think is terrible. I think they could have made the fight a little bit more eventful. I think it just can't match up to that 2018 fight.
Exactly. And another thing we talked about that I have an issue with is you take a movie. This is like we talked about this, and we have a fucking episode on this. So if you want to hear us piss and moan about it more, or Sarah opinions on it more, just go listen to that. But you literally made a movie where we're building up to this final showdown between Lori and Michael, and most of the movie isn't about either of those characters.
Right. Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense.
It's very weird. I don't understand it.
I'm not against there being other characters. I'm not against, like they said, Corey being in the movie or her granddaughter being in the movie. But like you just literally just fucking like, here you go, guys. Just pull you and focus on this part now. Like fuck Michael, fuck Lori. I mean, they're in it, but for the most part, fuck them and let's focus on this. And like Michael's just like dead and like literally looks like a druggie strung out on the side of the road. But he's just sitting in like a fucking drainage pipe.
Yep. Pretty much.
Supposedly getting power from killing people, nukes half the town, but okay, he's just gonna hang out.
I mean, there's some graphic kills though. Like some of the ones that I have kill count going. Just as a refresher, and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, the kills are good. I do think the kills are cool, but it's just everything else is just this movie's a mess, in my opinion. I know there are people who are fans of this movie and are advocating this movie. Like there are a lot of people who are like this movie would have been great if it was a standalone movie, and to be honest, I agree because it just doesn't feel like it connects with the other two because the only reason it connects with the other two is the characters. You know, Lori and Allison and in Hawkins and stuff like that, but. I don't know, man.
You talk about that, and we talk about Michael. Like if you go talk about the first movie to 2018, her goal was all these years was to prepare for Michael's return and to take him out because she thought he was after her. And then all this shit happens. She gets wounded into the hospital, and her fucking daughter gets killed by Michael.
Mm-hmm.
And through whatever string of events, she's like, I'm just not going to do it anymore.
Yeah, that's so
like it's gone far beyond personal at this point. It's killed your daughter, taking her from you forever, and you're just like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, but it's the end because Michael dies, and they throw him in a grinder, and that's it. That's it.
But it even ends at the movie. Evil's never truly dead.
Yep.
And somebody else will get it.
I mean, I still like the whole, like, almost like sacrifice style that they do with him because they bring him in.
Oh, the whole it's fine. Good.
I do like that. No, it doesn't.
Fine if you do.
Mesh with the rest of the series. But I like how they take him out for good.
Yeah.
And no, he isn't going to come back by a stupid pole in the ground and lightning.
Listen, don't take that shit away from Part 6. Don't even compare this movie to Part 6. It was fucking brilliant. And everything after Part 6 is Tommy Jarvis's fault. But anyway, I agree with what you're saying. I just didn't like because it made like a spectacle of him, and it felt really hammy to me. Yeah. After everything else that's happened in that 3 series, like if the 4 movies, if you count the original,
it was almost like a ritual at this point. Like,
what if they're all part of the Cult of Thorns?
I just wish this was a legend thing. I just wish Michael was a legend, and Michael just was like, he just disappeared. And then, like I said before, I have that idea, and of the fact that just make Corey the embodiment of Michael and just find his mask. Like he's wandering around, he gets thrown off, he finds the mask inside that drainage or whatever, but Michael's not there. It's just the mask. Or maybe he finds Michael's body. Maybe he finds Michael, like he thinks he's dead, and he steals the mask and then starts wearing it, and then he embodies the evil of Michael and starts killing, and people think it's him. And then Michael wakes up and is like, fuck, where'd my mask go? And then and it's like connected to him, of course, so he is able to find Corey and kill him, and then we get the showdown. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's a messy ending.
I think that sounds better, but like assumed identity thing.
Yeah.
Like, Friday the 13th, part 5, or not quite the same, but similar. And then what's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation is something similar to that, I think, too.
Yeah,
a little bit.
They do the Illuminati shit.
Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
I hate when they bring shit like that in.
I know.
Well, let's get to ranking on this final movie. So let's start with The Mask. So of course it's the same mask as we've seen before, but it's got the burn, but it's also even dirtier and grimier and
old. It's like got mold. It almost looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like a let's end this. Like,
imagine what that mask smells like.
Could you imagine what the mask from the second one smells like?
It's the same mask.
It's this. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's just not charred fresh anymore. It's
no. From the OG. Halloween 2. Could you imagine what that smells like?
Is it still around?
No, I think a lot of those masks are pretty much gone.
It probably isn't, knowing what it's made of. Just the fact that how many hours was it worn?
I think there are some masks that still have survived, but they had to like preserve them because of the way that the latex would deteriorate after a while.
Yeah,
like, naturally.
It probably didn't smell very good.
All right, so where are we putting this mask? Is it better than the Kills mask?
No, I don't think so.
Is it better than the Halloween 6 mask?
I
don't like it.
You don't like this mask?
It's maybe my animosity towards the series as a whole, but I'm not a fan of it.
I just like the weathered look.
I think the weathering is cool, but the problem is like it's not even like damaged old cool. It's just like it's literally just like pathetically falling apart.
Well,
Which I get, but like it just literally looks that way. It looks molded. It looks like garbage.
But it still has the burn marks.
Yeah, it still does. I'm just not a fan of it. I think it embodies how I feel about this movie. I think it just looks like garbage.
So
The eye sockets aren't even similar. No.
all right. Well, is it better than Halloween 5 mask?
Probably.
Yeah. I
Come back.
Halloween H2O.
Why is it blue?
No, because it's CG.
Part of it.
It's
is.
not better than the
No,
Halloween
it's
H2O?
better. No, it's better
Oh,
than Halloween.
Better than Halloween 4.
I say yeah.
Better than Resurrection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like those.
Better than Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
I'm gonna say it's. I'll leave that to you guys.
All right, let's put it below H.
I'm gonna say it's
You don't
right
think it's
there.
better than Rob Zombie's Halloween 2
No,
mask?
absolutely not.
Mm-mm.
No.
Okay. That's
I
fine.
want to say it's right there.
All right, so we're going to
It's
put
like-
it
It's got that. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of it, like if you talk about the mask before the piece gets ripped off, it's got like that cool, degraded, tattered.
Yeah,
look.
no,
And
I
like
know what
said,
you're
this
talking
just
about.
Looks pathetic.
But I almost feel like even the hair on this one is synthetic. Like not looks like not trying to look like real hair. It looks plastic.
But also I think it's the fact that it's because it's so old and tattered and
Yeah.
dirty and shit like that. Okay, so it's our new number 9. It's below Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 and above Halloween Resurrection. Final girl. I'm gonna say Lori again. She's definitely she's the one who ends up. Her and Allison are the one who end up killing Michael, anyways. Where would we put her on this list? I'm gonna start from Tommy and Kara from part 6 because I think Lori from Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 and down are kind of I feel like she's better than that. So Tommy and Kara better than them from Halloween 6.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Better than Allison from Halloween Kills.
I just don't like how domesticated they made her, and I just.
Well, that was just the way the direction they put her in. Yeah.
But it's the whole. That's hard. Just because it's Jamie Lee Curtis.
I think she does a
know.
good job in that final confrontation, and of course, like I do like the scenes where she like confronts Corey, like at the kid's house there, the one that he was babysitting for.
Yeah,
and
like there's all this stuff there. It's like she wants to try to look at what's best for Allison, and then Corey comes in, and she tries to be competitive, and she tries to be understanding, and then she's like, "All right, just go do your own thing." And then Corey's a piece of shit, and she's just kind of like, I don't know.
She literally
Whatever
goes
you
through
guys
all
think.
the stages of grief.
I'm gonna say below Dr. Chalice and above Allison from Kills.
That's fine.
I can. Yeah.
It's another poster looks pretty much the same as the other two, just different colors. It's Michael's mask again. The mask doesn't look as good though here.
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I don't like it as much as Kills.
It's the same thing I've been talking about. Like the 2018 looks good. The Kills one looks good, and he just looks like fucking mopey, old and sad. He's like,
It's.
And I know it's the mask. I just don't. I don't like his demeanor.
It's the mask. It's the fact that the mask can't show emotion.
Yeah, but it's how the head's tilted, stuff like
Yeah.
this. It's the demeanor of the shot. It's just how it's portrayed to me. He just looks pathetic.
The lips keep moving lower and lower toward the chin.
Yeah, it
All
just looks pathetic. I know it's supposed to show him like he's aged or whatever. I guess that's kind of the thing, but whatever.
This one just looks like you would get some kind of disease from putting it on.
Yeah, I agree. And you can see the eyes a little bit in the shot too.
Yeah, you can actually see like.
You can actually see his eyes.
Not necessarily the eyes, but underneath.
Yeah, like the skin, which you can't normally see in the other ones.
Which you can actually see.
Yeah, pull it up, dude. Seriously.
No, you can actually see that in 4 and 5.
Yeah, you think you can in 4 and 5 too.
And I was like, why are you seeing that? You're not supposed to see that. But yeah, like if you.
I don't know. It's trying to make it makes me seem like I'm supposed to feel bad for the guy. Like I don't feel bad for you. Fuck you, dude.
All right. Well, I feel like we're really diving into this poster. Where should we rank it? Is it better than Halloween 6?
Pull the posters. Probably, yes. I'm sure.
Well, I don't have one that has.
Halloween 6 is just sure.
Better than H2O.
I'm not a fan of the posters that were of that era with this all the little actors on
The
front.
H2O and Resurrection.
Yeah, I don't care.
That's what I
Okay.
grew up with, so it's what
Is it better than Resurrection's poster?
I say no, but
All right. Well, it's going to be... Is it better than H2O's?
The actors just standing there, or the actors in the knife.
But see, I'm the biggest fan of the '90s posters.
But that's fine. If you like it, then say you like it. I just don't like the poster. I don't care where you guys put it. Like I
All
already
right.
stated my
We're going to put
opinion.
ends at number 12. So it's
Fine.
going to be right... The only one that's above is Halloween 6.
It's fine.
Okay.
And our final one is the movie itself. Is it better than Halloween 5? I'm going to say yes.
Okay. The thing that I rate this movie is how much it pissed me off when I watched it. And while those movies were boring, this movie made me so fucking mad watching it. But keep going.
So Angel,
Mostly
you
the
say,
Madman verse.
did you say it was better than Halloween 5?
I like the opening at least. I could say that.
Yeah. Is it better than Resurrection?
Oh fuck. Resurrection sucks, dude. But at least it was entertaining to watch. That was so dumb too. Fuck.
I find Resurrection entertaining just for nostalgia purposes. So I would say no.
So it's not better than Resurrection?
But that's a still
All right, well, it's up to Dan.
Too.
I don't think so. Like I'd rather watch Resurrection than I would
All
watch
right.
Halloween Kid.
Then there it is.
I am one of those.
I would seriously never watch this movie again. Like I was
All right.
gladly would have done that.
I grew up on MST3K, like
I know.
hardcore.
I was there with you. Like with you.
All right, let's go through our rankings before we end the show. So we're going to start with our posters. So starting all the way at the bottom as what we consider the worst theatrical poster of every movie. At number 13, we have Halloween 6. At number 12, we have Halloween Ends. At number 11, we have Halloween H2O. At number 10, we have Resurrection. At number 9, we have Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. At number 8, we have Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. At number 7, we have Halloween 4. At number 6, we have Rob Zombie's Halloween 1. At number 5, we have Halloween Kills. At number 4, we have Halloween 2018. At number 3, we have Halloween 5, which is the only time this movie is ever going to be at the top 3 of anything. At number 2, we have the original Halloween 2 from 1981. And at number 1, we have the OG 78.
Just don't hate us too much.
Our next list is Final Girl. Why do I only have... Oh, no, I do have 13. For Final Girl, sorry, it was on a different page. At the bottom is Sarah from Resurrection. At number 12 is Jamie from Part 5. At number 11 is Lori from Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. At number 10 is Tommy and Kara from Part 6. Number 9 is Allison from Kills. And number 8 is Lori from Ends. Number 7 is Dr. Chalice from Halloween 3. At number 6 is Lori from the original Halloween 2. At number 5 is Lori from Rob Zombie's Halloween 1. At number 4 is Rachel and Jamie from Halloween 4. At number 3 is Lori from the original. At number 2 is the Strode Trio from Halloween 2018. And at number 1 is Lori from H2O. Now on to masks, which I feel like people are going to hate us for, but you know what? These are our rankings. These are our opinions. Don't hurt us too much. At the bottom of the list is Halloween 5, and it's a great place to be. At number 12, and I feel this is the one that people will disagree with us on because I feel people have nostalgia for the masks in H2O, but at number 12 is the mask from H2O. At number 11 is the mask from Halloween 4. At number 10 is the Resurrection mask. At number 9 is Halloween Ends. At number 8 is the masks or the many stages of the mask from Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. At number 7 is the mask from Halloween 6. At number 6 is the mask from Kills. At number 5 are the masks from Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. At number 4 is Rob Zombie's Halloween 1. Because it's pretty similar to the original Halloween mask. Just had to be a lot bigger because Taylor Maine's a fucking giant. At number 3 is The Mask from Halloween 2018. At number 2 is The Mask from the original Halloween 2. And of course, at number 1 is the OG Mask from 1978. Now on to the ranking I feel people will care about the most, and that is the ranking of every movie in the franchise. Of course, the only one we didn't talk about, like we didn't rank, was the producer's cut of Halloween 6. We kind of, like I said, we put them all together. At the very bottom, at number 13 is Halloween 5. The Return. Is it this? Was it this? This was the Revenge of Michael Myers, right?
Yes. Yep.
At number 12 is Halloween Ends. At number 11 is Halloween Resurrection. At number 10 is Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. At number 9 is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. At number 8 is Rob Zombie's Halloween. At number 7 is Halloween Kills. At number 6 is the original Halloween 2. At number 5 is Halloween 4. The Return, or which one is? Yeah, this is the Return of Michael Myers. At number 4 is Halloween H2O. At number 3 is Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. At number 2 is Halloween 2018. And of course, at number 1 is Halloween 1978. And that is it. We are finally done. 5 hours later, many episodes later, we are finally done going through this entire franchise, ranking them, talking about them just in, well, we talked about some in a lot more detail than others. And yeah, so you're going to be getting, when you're listening to this part, this is probably the second part of the episode because this is going to be a very long one. So you guys are going to get 2 episodes this week. You got the one that came out on Halloween, which was probably Halloween through Halloween 6 probably, and then we'll do 7 through the end of the franchise for the Friday episode. So I hope you guys enjoy this massive episode that I hope never happens again because these suck to edit.
Listen, that was your idea.
It sure was. We are going to be doing ranking episodes again. I think next year we're going to be looking at the Nightmare on Elm Street series, as the original is celebrating 40 years next year. So it'll be a good franchise to step into and talk about. And I think there's less films in that franchise, so it won't be as long. This was the longest franchise that we've talked about because it actually has 2 more movies than the Friday the 13th series. So yeah, very long, a lot to talk about with these movies. And I hope you guys all enjoy this mega episode. Next week, we are going to be joined by the wonderful Boomer and Gabby from Podcast in the Woods to talk about the very first found footage film we've ever covered on this podcast. We've never covered a found footage movie, but we had them on before to talk about Predator, which was a Boomer choice. So we told them that Gabby got the choice for the next guest appearance, and she chose one of her favorites, Hell House LLC. I'm very excited to talk about this movie. She's the one who actually showed me this movie for the first time. So I'm very excited to revisit it and to talk about it with them. And I'm very excited to see and hear what you guys think of the movie. Are you guys like, when it comes to found footage, are you guys like, do you like them? Do you not like them? Are you kind of in the middle?
I'm fine as long as it's good.
Yeah, I'm fine with it, but I'm more excited because Gabby's back and she's my stepping stone.
It's gonna be nice to have her be here and have a movie she actually likes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's gonna be interesting.
Because I'm pretty sure every time we've had her on, it's been one she's been adamantly against.
Or we've been on their stuff.
Yeah, I don't. I'll have to re-listen to the Predator episode, but I don't think she hated. I just might have hated it. I don't remember. It's been a long time.
I think she was mainly indifferent about that. Yeah, but like she didn't like hate it, but it was not like
Dead Alive. Dead Alive. When we decide to cover that movie, we got to make sure we're not going to put her through that torture again. We'll make sure to get someone else for that one.
Listen, I need all the female help I can get.
I know we're just bullies, Angela.
It's fine. Bullies. It's fine.
But I am exhausted. This has been a long episode, and I'm just closing my eyes, dreaming of hopefully some editing fairy will edit this for me, and I'll wake up and it'll be all done. But no, this is fun. This has been a blast. It's the end of October. It's the end of Spooktober, but it's not the end of us talking about horror movies because we got a lot of fun movies to talk about in November. And of course, in December, we're going to be talking about we're going to be doing our holiday season favorites, Christmas season favorites, and we're probably going to have some great movies. I don't know what we're talking about yet. We haven't really talked about the movies, but it's going to be a great time. And then 2024, I'm going to talk about it right now. 2024, we are going to be looking to be doing some changes. The show is going to do some, there's going to be some tweaking here and there. The show is we're going to be going at it in a different way. And I'm very excited for the rest of this year. 2023 has been a lot of fun for the show, and to do these episodes have been a blast. We got a lot of good stuff coming for you guys, and we're having a lot of fun. So
I'm having a blast.
Make sure to follow us on all the social medias at Dissect That Film. Make sure to, search. Of course, if you're listening to us right now, you've already found us on a podcast app, but make sure to rate and review us if you can. If you listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Good Pods, leave us a 5-star rating. Leave us a rating, whatever you think we deserve. Leave us, tell us why. Tell us why you love the show. Give us some notes. Tell us, what we could do. Give us some suggestions. You can also email us at dissectthatfilm@gmail.com and leave us movie suggestions because, like I said, 2024, we're going to be looking to cover some different movies, kind of going into the, kind of looking into movies maybe that don't get enough love and kind of staying away from like those mainstream movies to try to, I don't know, broaden our audience. A lot of things that we're going to be working on. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So you can follow Dan and Angela and all their links down below. Mine as well. All my personal links are going to be down below. What this ranking, our official Dissect That Film Halloween ranking, will be on the Dissect That Film letterbox. So if you want to go and look at our ratings, I also have our Friday the 13th ranking over there for our films. And also, if you just want to follow Dissect That Film over on Letterboxd and see what my shitty reviews are on movies, because I'm the one who runs the page. So if you want to read my terrible reviews on movies, just go over there. It's a lot of fun. And yeah. Thanks, guys. This was fun.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, everybody. Well, actually, when you're listening to this, Halloween's over. But I hope you had a wonderful Halloween, and thank you for supporting the show. And until next time, I'm Brett Parker. That is Dan and Angela of DNA Gaming. We are Dissect That Film, and this has been the Dissect That Film Podcast Halloween Special. We'll see you all again next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.